questions?
Then going into SEC play, I mean, how does that change for the freshmen that they haven't kind of experienced a conference game? What do you not tell them?
Not really a whole lot other than that, the level of competition has definitely stepped up. And you look at our conference schedule, the 18 games, 12 of the 18 games are against teams in the top 50 in the RPI. So, the level of play with our opponent is, really, really ramped up.
With Coach Stansberry coming back to the hump, how is that from an opposing coach perspective and things?
I think I made it really clear how much respect that I have for Rick Stansberry and all that he's given to Mississippi State University in the basketball program as an assistant coach. The outstanding job he did with Richard Williams, where he was, the lead recruiter for many of those great teams that Richard coached, and then to take over as a head coach, and the unbelievable job he did during his 14-year, 10-year, 24 years total, I think he was here. So we have a new, really beautiful new addition to the MISE. You may have not seen it yet, where we're honoring the three former coaches, Coach McCarthy, Coach Williams, and Coach Stansberry. I think it's really nice, and it's really, I think, a real positive, for all the great things that those coaches did and have meant for this program. So, I'm excited for Rick. I mean, he gave his heart and soul to this place, and I hope that the fans that are at the game will come early and be there to honor him. My understanding is they're going to do the honoring about 10 or 12 minutes prior to the beginning of the game. So I hope that people will plan to get here early to be a part of that and show him the respect that he deserves for everything he's given to this program.
Coach, you coach in Big Sky, Big East, Pac-10. Getting coach in the SEC now, just a thrill of that. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a great conference. When you look around this league and you look at the quality of the institutions and the basketball programs and the history, I mean, I had a chance this week to watch some of the opening games in SEC because, we obviously weren't a part of their very first few games that, started out. And I watched, Georgia and Florida. I watched Ole Miss at Kentucky. I watched A&M, Arkansas. Obviously, you've seen a bunch of different games, and it's Vanderbilt, LSU, really, really high-level games, really good players, really well-coached teams. So it's exciting to be a part of such a great league, which is one of the reasons I was excited about being the coach at Mississippi State. This is a phenomenal league, the SEC.
Now, when you look at Malik and the comfort level and just everything, but what has that comfort and just getting his legs back allowed him to do that he wasn't able to do before, that kind of has allowed him to take off?
I think he's, shooting the ball real well right now, and really getting in a groove where he's waiting, letting the offense come to him. I think he's creating well for others. I think he really passed the ball well in our last game. And I think part of it's just the experience of, getting used to playing at a different level and playing with new teammates. And, there's everybody's, we've come together a lot better here in the last 3 weeks.
You faced off against Coach Stansberry a couple times in your career. Kind of what are the characteristics and identities of his coach teams?
What I remember, we played him twice, once at Pitt and once at UCLA, is that, number one, they had good players on both those teams. They both had, good big guys. And, you think back, they had, Mario Austin, I believe, when we played him at Pitt, and they had Bernardo when we played him at UCLA. And in this case, they've got a really good freshman big at Texas A&M named Tyler Davis, who's going to really be a special player. He's shooting 76% from the field right now, averaging 12 and 6, and he's a load inside. This really matches up tough for you because he's so big and really seals and uses his body well. But, plays hard, play tough, good defense, takes smart shots, typical good basketball.
What makes Jalen Jones so hard to guard?
He's really a guy that's so versatile because he can shoot the tree. He's shooting a high percentage from the tree. He's really athletic. He has a really good motor. He really plays hard. He's very aggressive on the offensive glass. He's a good driver and, and attacks the glass. He gets out in transition and sets himself up for early feeds in transition. So he creates a lot of problems. I think he had 28 against Arkansas in their opener. And, he's a returning second-team All-League player from a year ago. And House is a returning first-team All-League player. And, Caruso is a special player. Caruso's led the league in assists 2 years running and steals and is a senior. And so they're a team that's an NCAA tournament team and a team that's going to do really well in the SEC, and they're off to an unbelievable start on the year. And they've been dominating good people. They dominated Baylor. They dominated Arkansas.
I know you said felt like the team's coming together a lot. 6-2 of your last 8 games. Are guys kind of clicking and figuring things out? Is it getting healthy? What's sort of going into that?
Yeah, it's a combination of the above, and I think that we're getting a better feel for how we have to play to try to give ourselves a chance to have success. And it's you always have a season within a season, though. That season's over now. The non-conference season is over. We're 7-5. We wish we would have been a little better than that, but it is what it is. And now it's a brand new season in that it's beginning of SEC play, and the level of competition really is raised because there's so many good teams in this league. And as I mentioned, 12 of the 18 games are against teams in the RPI top 50. And you can see our league is doing well when you look at that. I saw on one of the graphics that you have 8 teams I think are in top 50, and 12 of our games are against 8 of those teams.
You talk about this as kind of a new season with the SEC play. Have you seen a different attitude from your players in practice this week leading into this game?
I think the players are excited. They're always excited when you're playing against your league opponents, and it's fun for them.
Man, what is that? Texas A&M offensively and defensively, what do they do so well that makes them hard
Well,
to guard?
defensively, they're really good. They force a lot of turnovers. They really, help each other and create a lot of steals. Like I said, Caruso has led the league the last 2 years. They're big inside, so it's not like you can go inside and score easily. They'll cover down or double down in the post, and really try to help down and make it difficult for post players to get shots. They really are help side oriented, but they have length. They have size. Caruso is 6'6", and he plays, the guard position. The kid Collins, who was a one-year transfer, has 1 year left from South Florida, is a really good player. They basically start 2 point guards. Is a very good athlete and defender. They have depth. We're talking about Jones and House and Davis, but Tony Trocha comes off the bench, and he's very long. Gilder's a very good player, comes off the bench in the backcourt. I mean, the kid Hogue is an outstanding freshman. They have a lot of depth, so they keep bodies fresh, and they're able to kind of wear their opponent down.
What have you been able to get out of Gavin this year that kind of hasn't been unlocked in the years previous?
Well, I think Gavin did a great job coming into the season, just getting himself in the best shape he's ever been in. And so that's afforded him the opportunity to, play more minutes and play with a high level of energy because he's in better physical condition. And then my big emphasis offensively for him was to get more touches in the low post and the low block, and less, him, popping out on the perimeter, although he's very good at that. I mean, we need him down low blocking. He's so good down there. That's something we've tried to emphasize, getting him the ball in the paint.
How big a jump do you expect Elijah to make now that he's solely focused on basketball?
Well, I think it's going to help him, but he's just getting started. I mean, our last game, he got off the plane, come back from NC State, and came over and actually got a minute or two late in the game. But he's coming from way behind from the standpoint of just learning out of bounds plays and learning the sets that we run and getting himself in basketball condition. But it's definitely helpful to have him on our team, to have him out there, and gives us an extra guy that can help us and gives us some depth. And just like Eric, Eric Holman is improving here, steadily with more practicing and now getting in the groove where I'm going to get a chance to play in the games. And has made us better, I think, because of his presence on a daily basis. And we didn't have that till, 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago, before he could actually be cleared to go full-time in practice without limitations on his minutes or whatever.
Are you satisfied with the amount of touches Gavin's getting, or would you like to see more?
Yeah, we can't get him enough touches, in my opinion. And part of that is he's got to keep working hard to seal, and I think he's done a better job of that. What has he done better? I think he's getting better at sealing and really demanding the ball inside. And that's something we want to continue, because people are going to cover down. People are going to try to help on him when he gets the ball, and that opens it back up when he kicks it back out for penetrating opportunities or passes. And probably the best thing that we've done over the course of the last few weeks as a team has become a team that really has got improved at sharing the ball and making the extra pass. And that's what you have to do to be a good team. What else?
Did you envision, he's basically a 20-10 guy. Is that kind of what you envisioned him coming into this year when you saw his body size and his skill set?
Well, he's 7.8, I think, in 17 a game. I would like 20 and 10. Yeah, I mean, I thought that when I looked at him, I was like, wow, this kid has a chance to really be a good player, and especially at the offensive end.
Him changing his body so much, obviously, it's a big commitment and a lot of, you have to really care. Why do you think he kind of made that decision?
Well, I think Coach Dietz has really helped him there, our strength and conditioning coach, and I think sometimes the other part too is senior, the light goes on. It's his senior year, and here's his chance now. This is it. I told the guys the other day at our first practice back after the New Year, there's 63 days left in the regular season. That's it. Today, then there's 60, which is really amazing. You think about how few practices we're now going to have. It's just game after game after game. It's almost like an NBA schedule. We've got a game every 3 days here on out almost. So, sometimes, a lot of times for seniors, the light goes on. This is it. And for our seniors like Gavin and Travis Daniels and Johnny Sapardo have all graduated. They've all officially been able to get their degree. They're still in classes and attending, but they've officially already been able to get their degree. And then Fred and Chicken will get theirs in the springtime, so I'm really proud of that. All 5 seniors will graduate this year. That's really a credit to our academic support staff and also what the previous staff and Coach Ray did with them.
What does he need to do, Gavin, to continue those numbers in the SEC where the plays can get more difficult? He's going to see a lot more big guys that are equal to his size and such.
Yeah, I think he's going to continue to play well. He's played well against everybody we played. He played well against. The only game where he didn't have his normal game that I thought was Florida State, and it's because he got in foul trouble. He had 3 fouls in the first half, and there were 2 of them were in the zone where he was reaching, and that really hurt us. I think he played 7 minutes in the first half, and that was the game that he hurt his knee, as you remember, so he didn't play the last 8 minutes. But other than that, he's played well against everybody we've played, and I think he's a problem for people who match up. He's just got a good touch.
And when you look at, and not necessarily him, but how difficult has it been for you to try to get the front court and keep them out of foul trouble, because there isn't a whole lot of depth back there, and now you do have Howland, but prior to his return?
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason we've switched our defense too, is to try to play to his strengths.
Is that it?